The part where people lose money and exit early, ito yung mga tao na they don't like structures. I would say you can do very well or you can do very badly if you don't put a structure. That's fine. As long as you can take the do very badly part, no problem. But if you're the type na when your portfolio is doing very badly and then you panic, then you have a problem. Statistically speaking, lump sum over the very long term actually outperform regular investing. You basically just set aside of your portion of your income for investing, right? Those people who have, I have actual screenshots for this if another time, right? Those people who keep on investing regularly tend to do better longer term, even if the percentage return on their portfolio is smaller. Kasi nade-dilute yung reported percentage return. Okay. In terms of the dilution, I give you an example. Let's say you have $100,000, you're up around 50%, right? And then you put another 100,000. That means that ang nire-report na return is 25 only because it's like 50,000 divide 200 na instead of 100, right? So the percentage return may get diluted, but your total return would still be large.
If maikli yung time horizon, mas mawawalan ng chance para mas mag-correct yung market and pumunta sa position of growth. Kasi nga, binigyan mo lang ng shorter chance eh. Pero syempre, yung sinabi natin na eventually, pag stretch into 10 years, 20 years, magpa-positive, it presumes na maganda yung hawak mong stock. Di ba? Kasi pwede kasi basura yung stock tapos 20 years talagang at walang growth, walang profit, yun pa rin yun. Kaya kailangan pa rin yung due diligence, research, connecting to the right people, parang connecting to Jess Uy. And speaking of that, doing research, strategy, question ko, Jess, kasi in this channel, we have been talking about mga habits, mga strategies. What have worked for you para makapag-set aside ka ng money for investing? And effective pa rin ba yung ginagawa mong strategy para makapag-set aside, para makapag-invest and save?
I think it's very simple. You basically just set aside of your portion of your income for investing, right? Those people who have, I have actual screenshots for this if another time, right? Those people who keep on investing regularly tend to do better longer term, even if the percentage return on their portfolio is smaller. Kasi nade-dilute yung reported percentage return. Okay. In terms of the dilution, I give you an example. Let's say you have $100,000, you're up around 50%, right? And then you put another 100,000. That means that ang nire-report na return is 25 only because it's like 50,000 divide 200 na instead of 100, right? So the percentage return may get diluted, but your total return would still be large. Kasi when you continue to contribute over time, your investment portfolio size becomes bigger and bigger. So a small percentage move for that will actually be a large enough parang total return for you in general, right? And as you play the long-term game, you actually have better chances of success. Yeah. So that's where we are. I kind of like forgot the question. I was talking and I forgot the question.
Mga strategies of investing and saving. Kasi like for you, sanay ka na mag-set aside. May discipline and years and maybe decades of setting aside. Paano kasi to some, mahirap mag-set aside kasi ang daming bills to pay or ang daming temptation na travel, add to cart sa Amazon, sa Shopee, Lazada. Like, how do you guard yourself from that?
Madali lang to. This one, naka-automate lahat yan. Naka-automate. So normally, for myself and for my clients, normally, we spend a lot of time on the financial planning part. So in the initial part, I'll spend a lot of time, a few hours to kind of like discuss what are what are your dreams, your goals, your short, medium, long-term goals, etc., etc. And then we'll calculate what do you need to save, how much do you need to save to reach to your goals, what kind of rate of return do you need, and so on and so forth. And then once we have all of those numbers, right, we factor that into your budget para you can invest regularly. So it's important to have a regular investment plan, right? Regular savings plan on top of your lump sum. May lump sum ka, sure. It's good for you to deploy that. Eventually, you have another strategy for that. But for sustainability and and being able to ensure that you are saving for your future, it's important to automate it, right? The automation will help you become more disciplined, right? And not only are you more disciplined, it also detaches you from the emotional roller coasters of up and down the market. Statistically speaking, lump sum over the very long term actually outperform regular investing. I think a lot of people will probably be surprised by this. Statistically speaking, lump sum outperforms regular investing. But in terms of actual ability to push through and achieve their goals, I would say not many people can invest lump sum and and have the ability to go through the ups and downs and do not panic. Kasi pag naglagay ka ng pera tapos bagsak agad yung market in the first 2 years, panic ka na eh. Especially if you don't know what you're doing. If you do a regular investing, less likely for you to get panic. So normally for people na may lump sum, I will also tell them either we split this over time or we do the lump sum but you still do the regular investing. That's very important to protect yourself from emotional decisions. Kasi the largest risk to any portfolio is actually the investor themselves. Because if you remember, 80% of personal finances behavior is only 20% knowledge. This 80%, ito yung nagre-react sa mga news eh. Yeah, you look at the news, may mga layoffs, ganun-ganun. If you react, your IQ goes down, right? Because the brain freeze ka na eh. You can think properly. So I think it's important for us to be able to put structures such that you can be very successful. So may mga strategies ako that I can help people put them in a structure such that I would say the success rate is almost 100%. Just because they're following the structure. And if they're following the structure, they don't panic. They invest regularly. And by the time that the time frame is finished, right? The likely scenario, they end up positive. The part where people lose money and exit early, ito yung mga tao na they don't like structures. I would say you can do very well or you can do very badly if you don't put a structure. That's fine. As long as you can take the do very badly part, no problem. But if you're the type na when your portfolio is doing very badly and then you panic, then you have a problem. Right? Kasi guaranteed yung loss eh. Guaranteed yung loss in the short term. Eventually, kasi it's just like calamities in the world, right? Can you say that there's never going to be a calamity? You can guarantee every single year or every few years or every typhoon season, there will be a disaster. That guaranteed. But after that, recovery, right? Same thing. So investments ganun din. You have to prepare for the downturns because it will happen. It will definitely happen. The question is, what do you do? Are you taking advantage of those downturns? Because downturns are actually good for the economy in the long term because it removes all those companies who are not doing very well anyway, and then the demand for the products and services go to the stronger players, right? So parang think of it like, for example, may mga Jollibee in one street. Let's say there's Jollibee, McDonald's, Carinderia, like some other small stores, right? Um, when there's a recession, the likely scenario is that the Jollibee and McDonald's will probably stay because they probably have less cash flow issues versus the sari-sari store or the other smaller stores, right? So of course, hopefully we can help these other stores, but the reality is that they will likely not be around anymore for whatever reason. When they're not around anymore, right? Para ito yung mga companies that go bankrupt, nawala, right? Pero yung demand for their products and services, hindi naman nawawala eh. People will still eat, right? So, still eat and drink. So, the demand for their products and services, the smaller companies, will just go to the whoever's still alive, whoever's still operating, right? So, typically what happens, it goes to the stronger players, or at least the players who can survive. So, what is crucial actually, that's why we say cash flow for businesses are very important, because what you what you really need to do is that you need to be able to survive the downturns, because when the downturns are finished, right, some of the competition that cannot survive it, yung market nila will be available for everyone. So even if you're not the strongest player, you also grow again, just because this demand will have to find other suppliers. Parang ganun. It's normal. Yeah. Yan.
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing like a perspective of how you do things. Nakakatuwa lang, no? And